Hey guys, welcome back to my channel with kind of an unexpected video. I hadn't intended on making this, but I was watching the lovely Abby Williamson, and she kind of created this video where she reacted to her childhood Halloween costumes. And it was super entertaining and I enjoyed watching it, and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, wow, I should do this one year. This is a really good video idea. Then I look at her description and she actually tagged me in the video. So here we are. I couldn't help myself. I had a lot of fun looking through and finding the different Halloween costumes through my childhood. While I didn't find every year, I did find quite a few costumes for you guys, so I hope you will enjoy this kind of little reaction to my Halloween costumes video. So I'm going to be starting with last year and then working our way back in time. So in 2016, I went as a Darth Vader. This was one of those costumes where I kind of saw the dress in the Halloween store and I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna get it. Let's do it. Yes. And I kind of wanted to do like a Anakin Vader hybrid. So I have the black and the black dress, but I have like the little bit of a burnt face and the scar on the eye and things like that to kind of morph it together, plus the helmet and the lightsaber. So what can I say? I'm kind of a Star Wars nerd. Keeping with that theme, in 2015 I went as Endor Leia. I really wanted to do a Princess Leia costume that year, but I didn't want to do like the traditional white dress and the buns, and Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, so I went with Endor Leia instead, and I even dressed up my puppy as a little Ewok to boot. So that was another fun Star Wars one that I did. In 2014, I kind of did like more of a classic witch costume. I wanted to do like the green face, so I just did like the black hat, the long black hair, black dress, and then I did like the green face and neck and hands to just kind of do more of like a classic witch or like a Wizard of Oz type witch that year. 2013, I went as Tinkerbell, or my version of Tinkerbell. My fairy had lots of layers to keep warm and was a lot more flowy than the little itty bitty Tinkerbell costume, but I do love Tinkerbell. I remember that year I had a family member in the hospital, so I actually helped take some little ones trick-or-treating, and the extra layers on that costume were very helpful because Halloween is a very cold night up here. But it was a fun costume that I threw together with lots and lots of sparkles on my eyes. In 2012, I went as Snow White. This is another one where I saw the dress at a costume store and I was like, yeah, you know what, I want to be Snow White this year. So I got the dress and then I did a wig as well. And looking back at these pictures, it's so weird to not see my half sleeve on my arm. My arm looks naked. It's so weird. In 2011, I went as the Mad Hatter. This was a fun one because I got to like piece together all the different pieces, you know, the vest and the jacket and the hat and like the pants. Like it was a full head to toe makeup look, and I really enjoyed it. My mom actually went as the Red Queen that year as well, so we were kind of cohesive, you could say, but it was a fun costume to do. In 2010, I went as Joan Jett. Joan Jett is one of my favorite musicians, and so for this Halloween, I recreated the I Love Rock and Roll album cover, you know, with the bright pink jacket and like the blue scarf and the heavily blushed up cheeks for that nice little 80s look. Unfortunately, the people that saw my costume that year, I had to show them a photo reference because they didn't know who Joan Jett was. How do you not know who Joan Jett is? It kind of blew my mind. So in 2009, I was a very minimal vampire. It was a very basic look. I think I threw on a black dress and I found a cape and I had some vampire fangs. I was trying to desperately to hide my braces, so the vampire fangs that I got like were huge to go like up over the brace face, so to help cover it, or I ended up like learning how to smile, you know, without showing the brace face. It was a very minimal year. In 2008, I did a super lazy costume. I was not feeling it. I was really not feeling the braces. I wasn't feeling how I looked that year, so I just pieced together things I had around the house and created an 80s look. Not even that good of an 80s look. I didn't even put any makeup on, which I don't even know if you can like technically like do a full-on 80s look without like that crazy eye makeup or like the blush everywhere, and you know, I didn't even do that. I literally just threw on a couple things so that I was in some sort of costume to give candy out to the trick-or-treaters that year. In 2007, I went as an evil enchantress. This was like the first time I went blonde, I think, looking back at this picture, but I was like super into witches and all things like that, so like an evil enchantress was super fun for me. And I did like this costume. It was kind of like a dress that kind of split off, so I actually wore like a longer skirt under with it, so it was kind of like a cape dress thing, whatever. I enjoyed it and I had fun, you know, pretending to have magic powers, of course. Then back to 2005, I went as a baby. Now, this costume was purely so I could be comfortable. We were having this big like Halloween thing at school, so everyone was dressing up, and I didn't want to be uncomfortable all day at school, so I wanted to wear pajamas to school. So I dressed up as a baby. And that was that. It was a super easy peasy costume, and I wore it like that night as well. But seriously, I just wore pajamas all day. Can't really go wrong with that. In 2004, I went as a genie, you know, back in those days when we were all tiny, you know, and I showed off my stomach. Yeah, those itsy bitsy little Cassie days. I did wear it to a Halloween party, so I didn't completely freeze my ass off, but it was still pretty chilly with the kind of like the bare arms, the bare belly. Little chilly for the Pacific Northwest. Then we go to 2000. Now this was one of my favorite years to dress up. I was a vampire again, but a much more detailed vampire than the earlier year. My whole family actually dressed up as vampires, and I thought it was amazing. My mom and I actually went to like a hair salon and got our hair all done up like all fancy like, and I was super into this costume. I thought it was really great and I enjoyed my night as a vampire. So in '99, I actually had 2 different events to go to, so I did 2 costumes that year. One of the costumes was like a movie star, like the rich and famous movie star, whatever, you know, pieced together with like a dress-up dress and, you know, fancy gloves, whatever. And then my other costume that year was a bride. Why did I dress up as a bride? I really could not tell you, but I remember going to pick out my costume and I saw like the picture of the bride on the wall and I was like, yeah, I want to be the bride. Why? I have no idea why I wanted to dress up as a bride. I think it might have been life mocking me. Now this was the year that Phantom Menace came out, so my parents kept asking me if I wanted to dress up as Queen Amidala. Now I love Star Wars, but I didn't want to look like everyone else on Halloween, so I went with the bride instead. I have no idea. But I was right because there was about 1 million Queen Amidalas that Halloween. In '97, I went as Batgirl, you know, one of my all-time favorite superheroes. And the group that I went with, we all dressed as like Batman characters. So I was a fierce little Batgirl. It was cute. I had fun with it. In '96, I dressed up as Esmeralda, like the character from Hunchback of Notre Dame. And it's like a little kid dress that's like supposed to look like Esmeralda's dress, but I always thought it was funny looking back. There's like a picture of Esmeralda on the dress, so it's like, in case you didn't know what I'm dressed as, here's a picture of the character for you. In '95, I was a little itty bitty witch. You can kind of see my outfit with my little hat and my little broomstick. My family and I really like witches, I think. In '94, I was dressed in like all camo, like camo outfit, camo face. My whole family did this. I believe it was like a movie reference or something, but I don't remember. I was 2 years old, forgive me. I think I was just most importantly bundled up so I didn't freeze to death that night. And in '93, I was a little itty bitty fuzzy kitty cat, and I actually think that this picture is very adorable of me. Wasn't I cute? Wasn't I cute? What happened? And in '92, that was my first Halloween. I couldn't find a picture though, but I did go as a little baby clown, so that was my first Halloween. I know that I missed some of the years here and there, but I do hope that you enjoyed some of these costumes. I know that one year I went as Belle, like with the yellow dress, and I made like this shawl to go with it. I know that one. I know a couple other years, I think my mom and I matched with some witch costumes. Like I said, I think we really like witches because both of us have dressed up as various versions of witches several different times. I just couldn't find every single photo like for the last 25 years. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you to Abby for creating this video and for tagging me in it. I hope you guys are enjoying your Halloween season. If you do make your own version of this video, please tag me in it. I would love to watch. Hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, lovelies.